ठीक ठाक लगा मैं सही है ये क्या कॉम्पिटिशन में नहीं मैडम को ये मैडम कह रही है कि जो फर्स्ट आया जो पहले नंबर पर दूसरे नंबर पे जिसका नंबर है उसको सेकंड हाँ ठीक है डन
Hello everyone, I am Nurmanashali.
And I'm going to Kanta.
We will take you further.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to the highlight of our event, the final showdown. We welcome our Group C students from grade 9 to 12 for the debate competition.
Debate isn't just about arguing, it's about logic, perspective, and the courage to stand by your convictions. Our senior speakers are all set to present the sharpest arguments and critical thinking today.
Let us welcome our brilliant debaters to the stage with a big round of applause.
Participants will be evaluated on a comprehensive 50 mark scale designed to assess overall debating excellence. The largest single portion, content and knowledge, is worth 10 marks and focuses on the depth, accuracy, and relevance of the arguments presented. Presentation quality and articulations are equally emphasized to confidence, language, and vocabulary. Each carries 10 marks to evaluate stage presence, delivery, and command of phrasing.
The remaining 10 marks measure a speaker's agility and discipline during the round, accounts for 10 marks rewarding the ability to spontaneously analyze and counter the opposing side's arguments. Finally, the time management contributes the last 10 marks, ensuring that debaters effectively structure their speeches to deliver a complete argument within the allotted limits.
It's time for our senior debaters to take center stage. Please give a huge round of applause as we welcome Sam Marti, Vihan Patel, Dhani Kaila, and Rajat Galgali to the podium for Group D's debate competition. Best of luck to you all.
To hold the line and present the counter arguments, today let's welcome our against team to the stage. Put your hands together for Shagulba, Hem Shah, Aradhya Khangra, and Prince Luhan. The floor is all yours.
Good morning, judges, teachers, and my worthy audience. Imagine a class with 40 completely different minds and one teacher teaching them with the same method and same pace. Do you think each and every one of them would learn at the same time? No, absolutely not. This is the problem our education has historically been facing. One size fits all. Today, however, we have a solution for that, and that solution is artificial intelligence. Teachers lack in personalized tutoring, don't have the pace in meeting the individual needs. But however, AI helps by providing personalized tutoring and keeps up the pace in meeting the individual needs. Teachers spend 20 to 30% of their time in lesson planning, doing paperwork, etc. But AI does these in minutes. Using AI would help teachers reduce their time spent on repetitive tasks and unnecessary work, and even help them to reduce their daily stress. Not just this, AI would help tracking the performances of the students and help those who are struggling. Struggle by providing a structured plan and a specific way of teaching. If AI helps doctors detect diseases, help engineers designing buildings, houses, etc. If AI is turning every single profession, then why should our classrooms, why should our students be left behind? Now, talking about real life examples and survey. A survey by Digital Education Council shows that 86% of the students admit using AI and have also admitted that AI has made their learning and understanding way, way better. An international survey has shown that 80% of the students have got higher grades because of AI learning. And a study by FICCI has shown that 60% of the education institutions have permitted the use of AI. Not just these, but a AI controlled program named Blackstone help students mix chemicals, look at human cells without a biological and a physical lab. Our education has always evolved from blackboards to smartphones, from libraries to digital hub. AI is simply the next step. I leave you with one final thought. If AI has transformed multiple lives, if we accepted computers in our classrooms, internet as a learning tool, then why should we reject AI? The technology that has the potential of changing, of converting our education into more personalized and effective one. Thank you.
Individually or combined? Individually.
Imagine, imagine a classroom where each and every student has their own personal tutor available 24 hours a day. The one who can explain them new concepts, answer their doubts, and do all these work without getting tired. These classrooms are not a dream anymore. It is the reality that artificial intelligence, AI, is bringing for education. Respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends, good morning. Today, I stand in the favor of motion that artificial intelligence, AI, should be used in schools for education. Artificial intelligence is not here to replace teachers, it is here to help both teachers as well as students. According to UNESCO, AI can personalize learning, improve access to it, and support teachers. Firstly, AI makes learning easier. If a student doesn't understand a topic, AI can explain it again, anytime and anywhere. A UNESCO survey of over 13,000 teachers found that AI has potential to make learning more efficient and support teachers. Secondly, AI can personalize learning according to each student's pace. Another important advantage of AI is that not every student has access to best teachers or expensive coaching classes. So, AI can give practice questions, conduct tests, and solve doubts. So, these students can also prepare for competitive exams just like other students. Thirdly, a Google education survey says that teachers who use AI for their work saves very much time and they can invest this time in making students learn more. At last, people say that AI will make students lazy. I disagree. AI is only a tool, just like internet and calculator. If used responsibly, it can be used for your better future, not to cheat. In conclusion, that technology is not the enemy. Ignorance of technology is the enemy. Thank you.
Single thing.
Respected teachers, esteemed judges, and worthy opponents, my greetings to you all. Today, I'm going to present the universal goals of education, which are followed by almost every educational institute globally, except a few ones. Along with how and why AI can be involved in it. So three goals are first to equip learners with logical and technical skills. Second is to provide a precise comparative benchmark and a logical error auditing system. And third is to build autonomous self-learners which would help them in the future. In order to execute these goals for millions of students globally, we must follow three consecutive steps. Step one is to replace human teachers with AI models in higher mathematics, formal logic, and physical sciences. The reason for taking this step is really fundamental. AI is computationally much superior than humans. It compounds every year. Moreover, humans face a biological glass ceiling which most of us miss. Our neuron transmission speed is kept at 120 meters per second. Our energy is quantified to 20 watt. And even our working memory could hold just a few chunks of data, according to Miller's law. Even under continuous exertion, humans face a metabolic fatigue, which increases the demand of oxygen and glucose and also forces reliance on emotional heuristics and survival biases. AI simply doesn't possess any of it. It has zero latency focus, no emotional bias, and no metabolic fatigue. So it can perform rigorous analytical logic with invariant efficiency for hours, for longer period of time. So it makes an ideal primary engine in order to teach students how to think logically and develop their executive and creative intelligence. Step 2 is to deploy personalized AI models according to each student. Second step is to deploy personalized AI models for each student which are calibrated according to their current skill level plus some advanced problem solving skills which act so that AI model acts as a comparative benchmark or as a comparative standard for the student. When the student compares their own answer or explanation against that mechanism, then they identify the logical gaps, false assumptions, and fallacies. They rectify it and avoid them next time. As 21st century education, according to Terence Stout, who is a Fields Medalist winner, states that a 21st century education is not about rote memorization, it is about verification. This level of personalized education is not possible by a teacher who is qualified to 30 to 1 classroom ratio. It is not physically possible. Third point, the final thing is to restrict AI from giving direct answers to students. Instead, to dynamically reform its teaching techniques in order to match the real-time scaffolding of the learner's pace and its level. This also involves development of executive and creative intelligence, forcing students to think and learn on their own and work out in multiple fields. This also operationalizes Bloom's two sigma effect on a global scale. And also, a study conducted at Harvard University under physics department proves that students using AI tutors plus active learning classrooms doubled their learning gains and mastered the material in 20% less time. So, ladies and gentlemen, the roadmap is really clear. In order to make our students more efficient, breaking their biological glass ceilings, using AI, working with the technology, as well as preventing the traditional methods of education, we must induce these steps. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, to the respected judges, the audience, and my dear friends. Don't you think, as the corporate world has already incorporated AI into its workings, we would be doing a massive disservice to our children if we were to keep them in a tech-free bubble while we send them to this hostile corporate world? Robotics and artificial intelligence have been deemed to be the future best friends of man. Be it small tasks like keeping up reminders to big mammoths of tasks like operating on knees. Artificial intelligence will be a part of our future life in the not so far future. That makes it that much more important for us to inculcate the boon of artificial intelligence into our students, into our children from a tender young age. A comprehensive study that was performed by the University of San Diego dives deeper into the advantages that AI has to offer for the education system. There are possible ways that can this be achieved. For example, automation of administrative tasks. AI tools like GradeScope provide AI grading and resource allocation for teachers so that their load can be increased. Secondly, we have gamified content. For example, applications like Kahoot and Minecraft Education Edition can provide with students an intuitive learning, and that can make it that much more interesting for them to learn concepts of science and the application of them in real life. The third example is of test preparations. Artificial intelligence and applications like Magoosh can be used to prepare tests that are personalized for students so that they can focus on areas that they are weak in and improve learning efficiency. The thing is that the last 2024 year, 89% of startups use AI. That makes it so much important for us to understand the fact that children now have to use AI if they want to go up in the world and grow to be better. Lastly, I would just like to say that the dose that we take decides the potency of the poison. AI can be used respectfully in the presence of teachers and students themselves can understand that AI can only maximize the benefits. Thank you.
Rajat, pass it to.
Good morning to one and every present here, and to all my worthy opponents too. Representing Yamuna House at this debate competition, friends, the sides very great excited. I want to represent my topic by just taking reference from the poem of Robert Frost. A great poet he was. He just said that I hold up with those who favor fire or ice. And as this, I hold up with those who are against the use of AI in school education. Whatever points I'm keeping in front of you today are on the pillars of logic, facts, and truthful data. So, argument one will be AI is no more a good friend. Ladies and gentlemen, AI is no more used by students for just one answer or one question. They are using it for the whole assignment or whole work. Isn't it terrifying for the future of India? Let us keep aside the future of India. Isn't it terrifying for the future of mine? Who still wants to learn, who still wants to work, but we are intentionally running behind the bars of laziness and school failure. Argument two, the corporate mentality. We see many AI giants like OpenAI, XAI, and Notebook, etc. When we think of sorry, so by the news reports of ET now and Al Jazeera, these AI giants have their less models that are less developed, are free to use, and their highly advanced models are free to use. These AI giants want students to use the AI which is free, not because they are helping them, but because they are training their own AIs. They are training their own AIs to work accordingly and expand the amount of brain power. They don't want us to become developers, but consumers. Ladies and gentlemen, always remember if you are getting something for free, that means you are the product. Psychological factor. When we think of a school, when we think of an education, we just have an image in our mind that a teacher is teaching the students. But who thought of AI taking the same place? A human is not a machine, a human is a neurological structure which has feelings and emotions. If AI takes the place of a teacher, it will shake the ideas and the core principles of the education system. By the news reports of British Broadcasting Company, the personal attention given by a teacher, the personal attention given by an educator is always highly superior than that of AI in schools. So final wrap up for today will be, today my opponents will always tell you about the benefits of AI, the usage of AI, the job guarantee given by the AI, and the skill improvement by the AI. But busting this myth that Mark Zuckerberg built the Facebook at age of 19. Same old man built the OpenAI corporate at age of 21. Peter Thiel built the PayPal at age of 26. All were common men, all were dropouts, all were college students. But none of them use AI. They were developers, they were not consumers, and they made us consumers to their products. So using the AI and using the AI-made world can be only possible in the utopic vision of Frederick Soros. And by this, I strongly oppose the use of AI in the school education and education system. Thank you.
Good morning to our esteemed panel of judges and respected principals. Today, we are standing in a world surrounded by AI. It's in our phone, our home, and now knocking the door of our classroom. Artificial intelligence is undoubtedly one of the greatest inventions of our time. However, just because something is powerful does not mean it becomes a central part of education. Therefore, I stand before you to firmly oppose the use of AI in school education. AI is still the only struggle that builds up the mind. Learning isn't supposed to be easy. Every great thinker, writer, and scientist wrestle with hard problems. If AI doesn't want the learning, then what are we exactly learning? Imagine trying to build strong muscles while someone else lifts up weights for you. It's impossible. In the same way, if AI does the thinking, our mind becomes weaker instead of stronger. According to the survey, around 86% of university reported that students use AI in their studies. Well, this definitely shows that AI is getting popularized, but it also raises an important serious concern that students are relying on the AI, even for the small tasks. This means they are becoming the dependent thinkers, not the independent ones. Moreover, school is not just about scoring marks. It's about where we learn communication, teamwork, discipline, and creativity. If no AI can ever develop the human qualities for us. Moreover, there is also one another serious concern, and that is accuracy. AI can provide confidently incorrect information, misleading information. If a student believes in the information without questioning it, it means they are learning the mistakes, not the knowledge. Education is always about the curiosity, never about the unquestioning acceptance. However, education is not just about information, it's about the transformation. It's about the teacher who understands that a child is not struggling and stays extra 5 minutes to help. It's about the debates, the arguments, and every other things which makes the child reliable. It's about the fear. No algorithm can ever replicate the spark in teacher's eye when student finally understands. So, before welcoming AI into our classrooms, let's think twice. Just do we want to create the perfect assignments or do we want to create responsible, compassionate human beings? Or because the future depends on the smartest minds, not the smartest machines. And smarter minds are meant to be trained, not replaced. On that note, let AI remain a tool in our hand, not a teacher in our classroom, and certainly not a replacement for our human minds. Thank you, and I hope you have a grateful day.
Good morning, everyone. School is meant to build real human minds, not to make us depend on machines. Today, when AI does all the hard thinking for us, we stop learning how to think at all. Today, I stand firmly against the motion because AI in schools doesn't help students; it replaces them. Real education is about building hard work and original ideas. When students use AI to write essays or solve math problems, they skip the struggle of learning. Secondly, AI copies the most common answers from internet. AI often gives wrong or fake facts sounding totally perfect. Thirdly, thirdly, AI, managing these large AI systems, massive amount of electricity and clean drinking water is wasted just to cool down them. According to a report published by University of California, it proved that uh, just asking an AI a few questions uses up to 500 ml of clean drinking water. Fourthly, learning requires making mistakes, feeling confused. When AI gives us instant, effortless solutions, it trains our brain to give up when the things get harder. Fifthly, education is not just about memorizing facts. It is also about communication and sharing ideas. When students spend more time with AI than with real human teachers, they may lose confidence in communication. Honorable judges, tools should help our minds, not replace it. A calculator can do math, but it cannot teach you how math works. Therefore, I strongly urge all to choose real learning over shortcuts. Thank you and have a nice day.
A very cheerful morning to one and all present here. I am Aradhya Kamra and I am here to oppose the notion that AI should be used for educative purposes. We are put on this planet only once, and to limit ourselves to the familiar is a crime against our minds. A new era is rising before us. No place is barred for a favorable entry of AI. Working smarter has become easier than ever. But if we apply the same thing to the field of education, we come to realize some genuine concerns. Using artificial intelligence for teaching children will hinder, or rather, terminate completely their mental development. Solving math sums not only gets you that particular question clear, but also leaves you with a whole bunch of other things useful in solving other problems or sometimes in your future life as well. You might have written an essay many times in English. If we are compelled to think ourselves, we create a quote or quote some poetic lines on our own. Had AI been working for us, this would not have been possible. According to recent studies, about 92% of the world's students are using AI daily. And although this usage comprises of many things such as research, pastime, making friends, etc., but the largest share, about 7%, is used for the purpose of homework only, and it is quite alarming. And AI is a software, a nice software though, storing vast amounts of data in an organized manner, but it cannot think. While studying, we sometimes come across out of the box problems or very long and tough calculations. But when we are being taught by a human teacher, we can be totally guaranteed that he will humanize these problems. Teachers give us student-specific examples and real-life applications to make the topic interesting and engaging as well. A teacher can help us increase our IQ. AI can tell us what to think, but a teacher teaches us how to think. Take, for example, the case of San Marino and the Central African Republic. San Marino, a country in Europe, has the world's lowest student to teacher ratio, about 6 to 7 students per teacher on an average. So those students can get much personal attention. As a result, the literacy rate of that country is 99.9%. On the contrary, the Central African Republic has the highest student to teacher ratio, about 80 students per teacher, and due to that, the literacy rate there is only 37%. When we are educated, we are enlightened more about our inner selves than the outside world. Solving problems and facing challenges aids us in identifying our strengths and weaknesses. A student can decide arts, science, or sports to be their passions. If we would be habituated with using AI for each of our problems, we would always be in a shadow about our abilities and likings. Just imagine how uniformity it would have been if every student of every grade in every school would be getting A+ marks in every subject. That would not have created any subject-specific geniuses as we have today. Take, for example, the case of Michael Faraday. He was a great physicist, but he did not know maths. What he did to solve this was that he created an extraordinary way of looking at things using three-dimensional geometry, which did not imply any maths at all. If AI would be present at his time, he would just have learned the commonplace approach of solving problems and we would not be blessed with the electric motor. Robert Frost, the great poet, was regularly scolded in his school for daydreaming, which later on proved to be a crucial element in his poems. Again, something which AI could have stopped from happening. I do not say that we need a complete separation from AI. That, my friends, is not possible in this world. However, we should be extra careful in letting the reins of AI in the hands of children. Thank you.
Now, question round will start.
So my question is to you, Aradhya. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Let's talk about India first. In the recent protests, we saw how the youth now realizes the fact that the education system in India needs to be changed from the old orthodox methods to the newer modern methods so that teaching can be effectively controlled. So how do you plan to, tell the students, to make them understand the fact that we won't be using AI? Also, if you said, speech about Africa, Central Africa, and how they have a very high ratio of students to teachers, and that causes education gap. So in places like those, in underdeveloped areas, especially Africa, you think it will be very easy for them to perform experiments, as in it will take a huge amount of NACS and NaOH for them, for each of every one of them to perform their experiments. So don't you think using AI platforms like Mahush and as I said, as great scope, they can provide a whiteboard, a smart board, and there they can experiment. They can see the results live in instead of wasting money that they already don't have. So what are your views on that?
So a nice question put up by you. I would like to say that modernization, that's really important. But we can use AI in modernization for other fields. For example, we can use AI for data entry. We can use AI for carrying out the calculations. We can use AI for photo or video editing. But using AI in educational institutes, that I would say is not correct, because when a student is learning something, he has to start from the basics. He needs to understand how you arrive at a particular solution. What is the basics of thinking? If you expose him to AI in the first place, his basics would not be very strong enough. Our society would be at the same developmental level as it is now. We would not have any developers of AI. We would only have the users. And secondly, your point is totally correct that in countries which are underdeveloped, they can benefit from AI, but we can use AI in those countries for other purposes. Like we can use AI for carrying out the governmental operations. We can use AI for carrying out social operations, for example. But putting up AI in a school institution will take more cost than putting up a chemistry lab or a physics lab. So using AI for them is already very difficult, and we cannot suggest them such a high-tech solution in a primitive phase. Further, I would like to question you that you mentioned about 89% of the startups in India in 2024 used AI. I would like to question you that when we open a business, we need a new business idea. We need a new idea about the transportation, about the logistics, about the money management. But if all the institutions are using AI, then how will we have a good competition? Because AI can only give you a limited number of solutions. But in business, we need something new every day. So how are we going to tackle that?
That was a very nice question, Aradhya. I think honestly, what matters for entrepreneurs at the end of the day is that they make money. Every day they make money. The fact that AI obviously it has its own databases, but the thing is, see, the human mind, it cannot be put to a limit. You cannot stop human mind from being creative, and AI will only add up to those creative advantages. Obviously, you can't have a new idea daily. That will be very hard. But the thing is, the AI will not give you the solution to the problem. It will only help you. It can give you statistics of new ideas. They might be old, but their applications and how that affected the business. AI can provide you important insights, and then at the end of the day, it's your choice to make. It's your decision. It's your business. So you are going to be the one finally that implements the ideas that AI provided you with at the end of the day in your business, and that can be beneficial for you. So that.
First of all, none of my opponents seem to hear my speech well. My question is to you, Shagun. As you stated in your speech, that future is shaped by the greatest minds, the smartest minds, and you also stated that no algorithm has a kind of spark that a teacher does. But I would like to ask you a question. Like as Aradhya stated in his arguments that Robert Frost was scolded in school many times for daydreaming. So what's stopping a smart mind? It's of course not AI. AI is not stopping a smart mind to imagine, to build their creativity. In fact, I am saying that on deploying personalized AI models, that we must force the students who are actually, like, for example, Robert Frost. If there was AI that time, he obviously will have the support of the data which AI has. It will be backed by it, which will enforce its creativity and imagination to the next level. And moreover, I would like to ask you that do you know about the study which Anthropic conducted, which includes the theoretical coverage of AI and the practical coverage, which is most in higher mathematics, formal logic, and physical sciences, in most of the fields which include scientific and logical data facts and conclusions. So please can you elaborate on it?
That was a very nice question by you, Dharmi. I would like to say that about the Robert Frost, you say that he used to daydream in the school, and you're asking if there was AI back in the time. Will it be stopping the Robert Frost from daydreaming? Well, the question answer is simple. You see, AI is never asking you to use it. It's about the person, the main person who is actually has the hand in the AI. If the person itself is intelligent, has the frequency, has the mindset to use his brain in the perfect side, then he can do anything. Not AI has to be everywhere, not AI has to be the supporter of the person. And about the studies you mentioned, I honestly think that AI definitely gives a really support to the studies that you mentioned before. But AI is just a support system, not exactly the only answer. You have to figure out the answer by yourselves, even if the topic is different or even if it includes in the studies. But we need to make sure that AI is not taking over you, you are taking over the AI. Thank you. And my question is now to Bihan. AI can confidently provide incorrect information, and this is not me saying it. AI developer has himself or itself has acknowledged that AI can definitely provide incorrect information. So, if there is a student who's asking the question to AI, and by chance, if the answer is correct, then who's in the fault? The school education or the AI itself?
So my answer to that question is that no piece of information is fully correct. Sometimes our textbook gets misprinted. Sometimes our teacher guides us. So what I would like to say is that, no, like I said, that no piece of information is truly correct. So students should learn how to verify those questions by asking their teachers or by checking it on where or checking it on internet or somewhere else. So by this, students will not get dependent on AI. They will learn how to critically think. So now my question is to you is, don't you think that AI can make learning more personalized? For example, one teacher could not concentrate on 30, 40 students equally, but AI can. So what would you like to say on that?
We are told that AI personalized learning for everyone, but that's not true. AI deepens the inequality, not fixes it. Not every school has the same technology and same reliable internet access. Not everyone can have the personalized learning if they're not really having the proper internet access. And that's the answer of your question.
Question to Mr. Sekhar. So you spoke about the lack of personal attention given by teachers. From the centuries ago, our India is famous in giving the best scientists in the world, like C.V. Raman and J.K. Bose. Like people like Swami Vivekananda were raised by teachers. They were given the personal attention. And now, what is the lacking behind that? Now, teachers are not getting the personal attention anymore.
My answer involves one question for him too. He also mentioned one thing that teachers are more effectively providing personalized learning to the teachers. But I have a report showing that students admit that AI learning is way better than the human teaching. And teachers themselves are using AI. A report has also shown that 1 in 3 teachers are using AI for their work. So what is that going to say about that?
So it clearly means that students are being lazy. It doesn't mean that teachers are being lazy, but yes, students are being lazy. Students don't want to learn anymore. Students just want to have a memory to rot. They don't want anything learning today. They don't want anything to learn new. They just want to take a great marks. They want to get just great marks and just wrote in that.
Basically, AI is here to teach us, not to see that who is lazily using the tools. It's the job of the teacher and the school management to look after the students and teach them how to use those AI tools carefully to reduce and minimize the chances and risk of students using it for copying and just completely completing their assignments. Thank you.